Greetings, ChesCo Gridiron family and friends. Welcome to our Week 3 episode. On tap for you, we have highlights of the 9 games that were played this past week. PT's exclusive spotlight interview with Coatesville quarterback Matt Ortega Jr., a breakdown of the game of the week featuring 2 teams, Avon Grove and Great Valley, and our upcoming Friday night predictions. So settle in. You're not going to want to miss this episode. But first, a word from our sponsors at Studio One. Highlights of this week's games are brought to you by Studio One, the home of ChesCo Gridiron Insiders for our inaugural season. Studio One also houses Sports Vault. Sports Vault is your premium provider of sports-related autographed and non-autographed merchandise. Sports Vault is the leader in licensed sports memorabilia, novelties, trading cards, and custom framing. Sports Vault is located at 520 East Lancaster Avenue in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. We are always looking to add sponsorship and join our family here at ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. This week, we are adding a Player of the Week segment, and pretty soon we may add an Upset of the Week that you can sponsor. Just send an email to and we can set you up with the sponsorship package of your choice.
Highlight portion of our show, and we're going to pick it up first with Coatesville versus Smyrna, Delaware. We're going to pick things up in the middle of the first period here as Matt Ortega Jr. throws a slot fade perfectly. And look at this one-handed catch by Quan James.
Wow, what a catch, Pete. That might be the catch of the highlight.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving ahead to the second period now. Coatesville down 16-14 to Smyrna at this point. Ortega Jr. escapes pressure and hits a wide-open Nick Christina streaking behind the defense for a 48-yard TD pass. Coatesville retakes the lead 21-16 with 11:21 left in the second period. Smyrna's going to retake the lead here as Kearney returns this kickoff 89 yards for a touchdown.
Pete, this is going to be a reoccurring theme I think we're going to see during the night. Return kickoffs for touchdowns. But Kearney, he is some type of athlete. Coatesville is really fast this year and athletic, and he runs by him. I mean, Kearney is super fast.
Smyrna went for 2 after every touchdown this evening, and they were 5 for 6 on conversions using the Wildcat formation.
Yeah, I know Smyrna's really good at going for 2. They do a great job of blocking it. But at the same time, you know, I'm sure other teams are going to try that. This is a copycat high school football league, so the Red Raiders are going to have to clean that up.
Yeah, on Coatesville's next possession, you're going to see Ortega Jr. throws his 3rd TD pass of the evening. This one goes to Elias Hansen, and the Red Raiders retake the lead in a seesaw affair, 28-24.
Threw it only where Elias could get it.
And after Smyrna goes right down the field and scores again, Coatesville goes the length of the field themselves, and Ortega flips a 4-yard toss to running back Sage Bradshaw, and the Red Raiders are up 36-30, lead going into the half. Smyrna did the only scoring in the third period, but Coatesville used their version of the tush push to regain the lead here on the first play of the fourth.
New wrinkle for the Red Raiders. Hopefully we'll see that from the Eagles on Thursday night.
With just 5:37 left in the game and Smyrna deep in Red Raider territory, Smyrna's Henriquez catches a 10-yard RPO pass from their quarterback, and Smyrna converts to 2 and retakes the lead 46-42 in a wild affair. But Ortega Jr. doesn't wait too long to strike back as Quan James runs a perfectly executed hitch and go. And 60 yards later, Coatesville goes on top 49-46 with 4:43 remaining.
Great call by offensive coordinator Vinny Williams there. Perfect time to call it, and it worked to perfection.
Can Coatesville get a stop and go 2-0 to start the year? And yes, they do. A Coatesville blitz engulfs the Smyrna quarterback on 2nd and short. And now one play later, on 4th and 6, Marks throws a seam ball, but guess who? Number 3, Quan James, reads it perfectly from his corner position, and Coatesville wins a wild one, 49-46 over Smyrna.
They're going crazy there. Congratulations to the Red Raiders being 2-0.
Okay, we're going to travel up to northern Lebanon right now as the Hornets of Oxford came away with a hard-fought 16-13 win. Our first clip we're going to see here is Joel McLean scored early in the first period on a 69-yard run, showing great vision and breakaway speed. 7-0 Oxford. McLean was banged up last week, but he looked good here.
Yeah, I mean, we interviewed him. He was one of the spotlight interviews with the Oxford players last week, and he told us he had some cramping issues, even had to go to the hospital, but looks like he recovered.
Yeah, he breakaway speed there, and it's 7-0 Hornets. Okay, another highlight. We're going to see McLean scores again. This time powering in from 8 yards to give Oxford a little bit of a cushion with a 16-7 lead. Just power there.
He bulldozed about 2 guys in on his way in that time.
Oxford's clinging to a 16-13 lead, and they need their defense to step up, and they do as they snuff out Northern Lebanon's hopes for a comeback with this huge sack.
It's almost like the same play as last week.
Yeah.
They're bringing the corner off the edge here. They only had a 3-man rush. Comes around the edge, steps up, and got a sack. So great job. It's 2-0 Oxford. Coach Means as they hold on and win 16-13.
Traveling down to Delaware for the Whippets of Downingtown West and St. John's College. The Whippets opened strong Friday night with another great drive that featured many of their skilled players. Here, Cole Bricker delivers to J.D. Weller under duress on 2nd down and very long. Weller makes a really nice high-point catch here.
Yep, that's what he does.
On the very next play, with very good protection, Bricker delivers a strike to Brendan Good Kimball on a wheel route for a huge gain and a first down. Good Kimball is one of the most athletic players in the league.
Yep, and he's got another year left as well.
Yeah. Third play in the sequence sees Bricker avoid immediate pressure, step up in the pocket, and find T.J. Sinkus on a drag route.
It's a big-time play there by a big-time quarterback.
Bricker's playing really well.
Yeah, so we've got we have Ortega Jr., Bricker, and then you're going to see Malvern's quarterback, Jackson Melconian, later in the episode.
A few plays later, Amari Cannon bounces his own play outside and outruns the defense for the game's first score. Whippets up 7-0. The Downingtown defense was stout at times. Here we see great coverage in the back end, and the quarterback gets flushed to Max Wolfington, the linebacker, for a sack.
He's a player, Pete.
Yeah. On the very next play, St. John's runs an outside zone play, but Sinkus sets a hard edge and eventually falls back inside to make the tackle with the help of a few of his Whippet friends.
Unfortunately, the Whippets fell short as they lost 42-21 to an extremely good and extremely talented St. John's College team of D.C.
We're going to pick up Westchester Henderson as they travel to Hatboro Horsham. We picked up the game midway through the first period. Hatboro driving into Henderson territory. And on 4th down, they run the running back screen that is sniffed out by number 73 for the Warriors, Faison Ahmed, effectively killing the Hatters' drive.
Great play. That would have been a big gainer for the Hatboro Horsham Hatters.
After a nice punt return for the Warriors, you're going to see Chase Kearney sets the Warriors up at the Hatboro 35. Quarterback Jackson Cherub hits Kearney on this nice skinny post route for a 33-yard touchdown pass to open the scoring.
You know, maybe we don't mention Kearney enough. He had a great week last week, and he's going to follow it up, as you'll see this week, with another solid week.
On the ensuing drive here, with Henderson up 7-0, Hatboro Horsham ties the score 7-7. However, Henderson answers on his 13-yard hookup from Jackson Cherub to another one of his favorite receivers, Jackson Lewis. It's 2 big games in a row for Kearney and Jackson Lewis.
Absolutely.
Nice play. The extra point was missed, and Henderson led 13-7. After a Hatboro 3-and-out, Henderson converts on another connection between Cherub and Kearney, this time for 18 yards, and it appears Henderson will go in at the half up 27. Not so fast, my friends. An unsportsmanlike penalty was called on Henderson, so Henderson kicked off from their own 25, and running back Justin Ryan returns the kick 70 yards to the house to make the score 20-14 with 29 seconds left. Another kickoff return.
Yep, number 2 of the night. And folks, I got news for you. There's going to be more to follow.
Yeah.
What a wild half.
Yeah. The Warriors aren't finished, however. After an out-of-bounds kickoff, Henderson advances to the Hatters' 45-yard line. And with 16 seconds left, Jackson Cherub strikes again, this time with Jackson Lewis again on a wheel post, and Henderson goes in at half up 26-14. Nice play here.
Yeah, absolutely. Kudos to Dan Ellis for training Jackson Cherub. He looks like he's going to have an outstanding year.
Warriors hold on to win 29-21 over the Hatters. Bob Bryce is 2-0 on the year.
Westchester Henderson, congrats.
Okay, we're going to head down to Interboro right now, where Rustin visits the Interboro Bucks, picking the game up early in the first period with Interboro driving, but Bucks quarterback Rolando Rogers runs a draw and is drilled by a blitzing Will Bonner and costs up the football. And defensive tackle Caleb Cunningham picks it up, and Rustin is in business. 8 plays later, Colin Baltazar takes a Buck sweep 46 yards to the house, and the Knights draw first blood 7-0.
That won't be the last you hear from Baltazar today.
On the very next Interboro drive, Rogers drops back and this time overthrows his intended receiver. An opportunistic and very speedy Jimmy Bolin is waiting as intercepts his pass and returns it to the Bucks 35-yard line.
That's another great big play that Bolin made. If you remember correctly, Bolin had the 69-yard touchdown run against Unionville that won the game for Rustin last week.
Yeah, and on the very first play of the second period, Bolin takes a power, 17 yards to pay dirt, and Rustin's up 14-0. Bolin runs hard.
Yeah, and he's quick.
Okay, after Interboro closes the gap to 14-7, Baldassare strikes again, this time on an 84-yard kickoff return, our third of the night.
Yeah, what I learned, Pete, was that I was told that Shaz Brown, one of the assistant coaches, noticed that there was some type of flaw in Interboro's kickoff coverage, and then the Golden Knights obviously took advantage of it. And you can see they will go on to roll 35-7, and the Golden Knights will also be 2-0.
Now we're traveling to Northeast Philadelphia as Downingtown East take on the Vikings Friday night and easily won 33-0. Here we're going to see running back Jules Cherone Robinson at his second straight big game, rushed for over 400 yards and 4 TDs in the Cougars' first games. Here he makes a nifty cut and scores from 24 yards out.
That was a heck of a jump cut.
Yeah. Robinson follows his blocks here and shows off his speed on his 50-yard TD run. The Cougars win 33-0, and they'll host Springford next week. Traveling to Delaware County for an afternoon contest, Unionville takes on Academy Park. We picked this game up in the fourth quarter, tied at 14 when Shane Gilday punches it in from the 9-yard line to give the Longhorns a 21-14 lead with just over 9 minutes left in the game.
Good run by Gilday. You don't usually see him with those kinds of carries.
Right.
As their main man. Well,
Brody McLaughlin.
Yeah,
we're going to see him coming up here
right now.
About a minute later, McLaughlin scampers 43 yards to pay dirt, puts Unionville up 2 scores with 7:01 to play in the fourth. Unionville dominated the fourth period, EJ.
Yeah, I mean, 14-14, right? And it was like 9 minutes, and then he just found another gear. But that's what, we expect. It's kind of tough, when you play these afternoon games, right?
You're out of your rhythm.
7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Coming off of a tough Rustin last-second loss.
Here, Longhorn quarterback Tommy McGinnis puts this one away by taking a quarterback counter, 28 yards, and Unionville comfortably puts this one away, 35-14. The Longhorns 1-1 on the season.
Yep. Good bounce-back win for Unionville.
Finally, we head to Ocean City, New Jersey for the game of the week in the state of Pennsylvania. Malvern Prep versus Catholic League favorite LaSalle on the Ward to Shore. After both teams traded punts, Malvern's Zeke Bates takes this counter 31 yards to the end zone while shedding some LaSalle tacklers. Malvern Prep up 7-0 with 1:52 remaining in the first period. Following a familiar theme in the highlight package this week, LaSalle answers immediately on special teams. LaSalle returner number 14, Brendan Mahoney, cuts across the field and up the sideline untouched and toes the shore and goes in to score on a 96-yard kickoff return.
That's how you answer.
Yeah. Okay, LaSalle makes Malvern go 3 and out, and the Explorers strike again. Missouri commit Gavin Sidwar finds Notre Dame commit Joey O'Brien for 36 yards on a go route, and LaSalle takes their first lead of the game, 14-7.
Yeah, we talk about quarterbacks, Pete, right? Well, we got one here. We're
going to see Jackson Melconian here in second quarter action as the ball, and quarterback Jackson Melconian finds Cade Cooper on a well-executed hitch and go for a gain of 47 yards.
It's another hitch and go, right? We saw Coatesville do it. Now we see Malvern do it. Just a little bit too long, or he would have taken that one in the house as well.
On the next play, Melconian finds Danny Riley on an out and up, and the Friars not to score at 14. Melconian is really an under-the-radar quarterback. He's very talented.
First of all, he's a shortstop in baseball that's going to go to Vanderbilt University.
And a great one, yeah.
So therefore, he is just a great athlete and a very good quarterback as well.
After LaSalle returned another kickoff in the Friar territory, Sidwell connects with O'Brien again, this time in a nice little RPO scheme that freezes the Malvern linebacker in the middle of the field, and LaSalle regains the lead, 21-14, with 8:38 left in the second period.
Yeah, speaking of quarterbacks, Sidwell is quite the quarterback, headed to Missouri. I don't know how he got out of the state. Somebody call.
However, this time it's the Friars' turn to answer right back as Danny Riley takes this jet sweep 25 yards down to the Explorer 18-yard line. A few plays later, Melconian eludes pressure and finds tight end Dylan Novak dragging across the field, and just like that, we are tied with 6:39 remaining in the second period, 21-21.
Another great play by Melconian.
We're going to move to the third quarter here. In this sequence, LaSalle has the ball at the Malvern 49. Sidwar connects with O'Brien again, this time right down the seam for a 33-yard strike.
Look at that quick release, Pete.
Yeah, it's the quickest release I've seen in years. One play later, Sidwar finds O'Brien again on a 10-yard slant. LaSalle pushes in front 28-21 in a wild one with 9:52 remaining in the third.
So many athletes on the field, and what a great atmosphere. Really, held up our game of the week for week 2.
On the next Friar possession, Melconian rolls out and throws another hitch and go to number 3, Cade Cooper. Malvern Zeke Bates plunges in on the next play.
What a throw.
Yeah. We're going to see Bates plunge in here and tie it up at 28-28. However, the theme of our highlights rears its ugly head again, and LaSalle returns his kickoff 98 yards to retake the lead, 35-28 late in the third. Just goes down the right sideline here. Big burst of speed, and he's gone. But, the Friars are far from done. They have a lot of ability, and junior Jack Schuster takes this smoke screen pass 69 yards to the LaSalle 20-yard line.
Oof. What a play. Just a junior.
Schuster. Yeah, nice player. Friars turned it over on downs here, but on LaSalle's first play from scrimmage, Sidwar makes his first mistake of the evening, overthrowing his receiver into the hands of number 44, Trey Gibson.
Number
5, Trey Gibson, and he makes a nifty return into Explorer territory. But Malvern is turned away on downs again, and we move to the fourth on a third and long. Sidwar is sacked by sophomore George Parkinson. He tallied 2 sacks on the evening, EJ.
Yeah, something tells me Parkinson is going to be another Malvern Prep Division I. He's already being recruited, and he's a sophomore.
This one forces a LaSalle punt. Danny Riley takes another jet sweep, 22-yard, but falls just short of pay dirt.
Riley had a heck of a game.
Yeah. Friars punch it in 2 plays later, and we're all tied again, 35-35, in a war at the shore. This is when things really start to get interesting. Backed up in their own end, Sidwar hits O'Brien open in the middle of the Friar zone on the same drive. This pass interference call puts LaSalle and Malvern's 1.
We're a little bit behind there.
Yeah.
There's the pass interference.
There's the pass interference. And the Explorers punch it in and take the lead again with 1:30 remaining, 42-35. With time running out, Jackson Melconian is able to escape LaSalle pressure.
He did this all night.
Yeah, he tiptoed down the sideline to the LaSalle 39-yard line. On the very next play, Melkonian finds Trey Gibson on an out route, and the Friars have life with 7 seconds remaining at the LaSalle 21-yard line.
Great job of getting out. They still have one timeout, but 7 seconds is not a lot of time.
Yeah, and junior Steven Smith catches this quick out, and he gets the 4 into the end zone.
This is where controversy ensues. So keep an eye, on this receiver right here.
This extremely controversial holding penalty ends the game, and LaSalle escapes with a 42-35 lead. Didn't really look like a hold to me, EJ.
No, I'm not really sure. I guess I can see from the vantage point that the referee had. It was, tough, but I haven't talked to one person that thought it was a hold. I know for a fact if Malvern would have scored there, they were going for 2. I actually even know what play they were going to run, but I won't reveal that for later on down the road. Malvern.
Unfortunate the game was decided on a call, and regardless, what a game. Definitely 2 of the better teams in our state, and maybe 2 of the top 50 teams in the country, EJ.
Absolutely. Won't surprise me if LaSalle wins the state, and Malvern was right there with them the whole time. All right. Next, actually, Pete will interview Matt Ortega Jr., quarterback from Coatesville, who had a phenomenal evening. Stay tuned.
Okay, ChesCo Gridiron Insiders fans, we're here with the hottest quarterback in District 1, Coatesville's Matt Ortega Jr. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good, buddy. Hey, 94 points in the first 2 games for the Coatesville offense. You have 465 passing yards, 8 touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns. Is it that you're more comfortable in the offense being a 3-year starter, or is it better skill people? But what can you attribute to this ascension?
I feel like it's a combo of both. I feel like it's that I'm a 3-year starter. I feel like I know the offense a lot more in and out. And I feel like we have a lot of better skill guys than I have for the past 3 years. So I feel like it's a combo of both.
Okay. Do you have a connection with maybe one of your receivers? It seems like Quan James and you have a synergy that's really exhilarating.
Yeah, I played with Quan my whole life since Little League. So I've known him since I've been little.
Tom Wolf for Chester County Gridiron Insiders. Going to take a look at Great Valley's defense. Great Valley takes on Owen-J. Roberts this Friday night. This clip is from their game from week 0 against Sun Valley. And let's get it started here. Sun Valley is going to try to run and they'll bring a guy in motion here. And you'll see the Great Valley safety, number 21, Bo Kosmowski, all over the field Friday night, both offensively and defensively. When the motion, he rocks down and does a real good job of setting the outside edge here. Now, the toss is not a good toss. It causes the halfback to kind of lose focus. But as we watch this play out, you'll see Kosmowski is really doing a good job getting downhill fast. So there's the motion. There's Kosmowski getting down. Another thing I want to show you is a play of outside linebacker, sophomore Andrew Moore, number 44, and senior inside linebacker, number 11, Carrick Moore. They do a real good job of pursuing the play and getting downhill and helping Kosmowski force the ball carrier inside for a loss on the play. So let's let this play run out. There's the toss. Kosmowski with the pressure. Moore, number 44 Moore, and then number 11 Moore come in and they clean it. Big play early in the game for Great Valley. Now this next clip is a carbon copy. And I wanted to show this just to show you again the athleticism of number 21 Kosmowski. Same exact play, same formation, same motion, and just watch Kosmowski up here. He's shot out of a cannon, and he avoids his blocks, and they do kind of get the edge on this. Sun Valley does, but because Kosmowski is so quick, he misses the blockers miss him entirely. So we'll watch this play as just a real good highlight play by this young man. You see him getting downhill with the motion. And Sun Valley has blockers out there, but they just can't even get a handle on him. 2 guys, he runs right past 2 Sun Valley blockers. makes a great open field tackle for a big loss on first down. So great play by Kosmolsky there. And he's fired up, as you can see. This last clip, we're going to focus on the big guy in the middle here, number 57. Number 57 is senior defensive tackle Abdul Aziz. And you'll see him right here. He's right over the center. Sun Valley's trying to run a quick little trap play here with an inside handoff. But you'll see Moore is so quick off the ball, so explosive off the snap, that he just stands, he gets underneath, gets low, stands up the center, pushes him aside, makes a tackle for loss. So focus on number 57 here. There's the explosion. Gets under the pads, good pad level, tosses him aside, and he's right there to meet the ball carrier in the backfield. So good individual effort by number 57, Abdul Aziz Moore. So when Great Valley plays Owen J. Roberts this Friday night, you want to look for number 21, Bo Kosmolsky at safety, the outside linebacker, Andrew Moore, the inside linebacker, Kerrig Moore, and defensive tackle, Abdul Aziz Moore, to make plays like this against Owen J. Roberts. Tom Wolfpack for Chester County Insiders, taking a look at the Avon Grove defense. Avon Grove takes on Boyertown this Friday night in one of our games of the week. Here they are playing Penwood. Avon Grove likes to run a 5-man odd front, 2 man over the nose, 4 and 5. 2 inside linebackers and a strong safety rock down, 3 deep. So on this play, I want to focus on number 3, senior outside linebacker Alexander Binstead, and number 10, senior cornerback Dylan LaPapa. You can see Penwood's deep in their own territory, 2nd and long, and what Penwood's trying to do, they're just trying to throw a quick little spot pass out here to the receiver, 1-step drop by the quarterback. They want to get the ball out in his hands quick, and hopefully he can make a guy miss and get up the sideline. But Binstead, number 3, does a real good job of reading this, and LaPapa does a real good job breaking on the ball and getting outside leverage. So let's let this play run out. So there's a snap. There's Binstead. You see Binstead redirects, sees the play. At the same time, LaPapa gets out of his break, and he comes outside in. Binstead comes inside out, and they make a nice little sandwich here of this wide receiver, and it's a lucky for Penwood, it's not a safety. So good job there. Good gang tackle. Good job by Avon Grove. All right, next clip. Next clip, we're going to take a look at the linebackers. We're going to look at number 5, senior Evan Olander, who's the outside linebacker here. Number 57, senior inside linebacker, Van Erickson. And here's Erickson calling out the signals. So Penwood's trying to a quick little zone boot, try to get outside. Olander does a good job initially inside, but he redirects and gets pressure on this Penwood quarterback who's trying to throw a flat to the slot player on the right who comes under the line of scrimmage into the flat. You'll see Erickson does a real good job of reading this and getting out into the flat, and he actually almost picks the ball off. So let's let this play out. So here's the zone boot. Olander comes out. There he is. Forces a high throw to the flat player. And you'll see right here, Erickson's already there. Erickson is ready to make the play. It's a high throw. He doesn't get the interception, but he does make the nice tackle for a minimal gain. So let this play all the way through. Good job by Olander and Erickson for the Avon Grove defense. On this last clip we're going to watch, we're just going to focus on the Avon Grove pass rush. It's a basic 5-man pressure, outside rush, good lane here. Big nose tackle holds his center up right here. Good rush by this defensive end and good outside rush by this outside linebacker. The quarterback, you can see, is 6 yards deep, but he can't even set his feet because the entire Avon Grove front five is getting in there, and it results in a quick, easy sack on 2nd and long. So we'll let this play out and just watch the pass rush. Good pass integrity lanes there. Everybody beats their man. And the left defensive end for Avon Grove ends up getting the sack. So again, just good pass rush lanes, good get off by everybody, and just meet at the quarterback. So hopefully Avon Grove can keep this kind of defensive pressure up when they play Boyertown this Friday night.
Hey, this week we're breaking down the Avon Grove offense. Avon Grove got back on track this past week with a spanking of Penwood, 41-0, to even their record at 1-1. So we're going to take a look at 3 plays here. Again, my theme has kind of been series-oriented offense, and again, we have another kind of wing tee-based team here, schematically anyway, in Avon Grove. So let's take a look here. The first play, we've seen buck sweep a couple weeks. Here we've got a bunch trips formation, and they flip everybody over. And I'll let it run once. We're going to get buck sweep for a touchdown. 2 guards pull. And that's play 2 of the game. That's their first offensive play. That's a pretty good way to start a football game. Again, let's just take a quick look at buck sweep so we know what we're getting. So after the shift, we're going to get angles. We're going to get build a wall, kind of look down here, build a wall, build a wall, build a wall. And we're going to get 2 guards out. Front side guard's going to look to kick. In this instance, he's actually able to pull and lead. We're going to get both backs, and we're going to get a cross mesh and a square cut. And again, this is perfectly executed against Penwood on their first offensive play. Little different look. We haven't seen it from a bunch trips formation, but that's what Avon Grove's doing here. And again, it's a great look. They actually reach scheme on the edge a little bit. They don't use the angles to down block. So you'll see down blocks early, but then it's a reach and a reach out here. And now this guard actually gets to pull and lead, and they get everybody through. And it's a great looking play. It's a 49-yard touchdown run. Opening play of the game. Complementary offense. So same formation without the shift. And now we're going to get a buck sweep RPO. So what are we going to get? We're going to get a guard out, and the quarterback's going to have the ability to give it if he wants to. Depending on the read, how they taught it, they're either reading the overhang defender here or the inside linebacker there. And all we're going to get here is a slant route by the split end. So again, it's a post-snap decision by the quarterback, depending on the reaction. In most cases, it's the inside linebacker. Let's see what we get here. Both backers step downhill. The inside backer actually chases the guard. Quarterback doesn't really even mess, just pulls the ball. It's a 0-step drop, catch, set, throw, and he has that window because the linebacker's vacated. Receiver's running. It's not even a 3-step slant. It's an immediate. It's just an angle route inside, replacing the backers. And it's a great looking play for about a 12 to 15-yard gain. Series oriented. Again, same formation, just bunch trips on the right now. And if you've been following along here for a while, we know counter crisscross is a play coming back. So we're going to give it to him. He's going to give it to him. We're still going to get 2 pullers. It's going to be the wing side guard with a trap. The inside back's going to pull and seal the tight end. And we're going to get another good-looking play here, counter crisscross out of bunch trips. You can see number 3 is the tight end. He pulls and logs, does a really nice job feeling penetration. 57 kicks, 3 logs it. The split end, we actually get a tackle all the way through on the backer, on the safety. And that's a walk-in touchdown. Again, great looking play. Counter crisscross out of bunch trips. Avon Grove travels where they see Boyertown this week. Hey, so we're going to take a look at Great Valley on offense here. Great Valley, after a really tough 2-point loss last week to Oxford, they bounced back this past week, and to come from behind and defeat Sun Valley 20-3. We're going to take a look at 3 key plays that helped them earn the victory on Friday night. First play, going in, first down play. We're going to get one back power, and we're going to get shuffle motion from the H back across. And as with all power plays, right, we're going to get build a wall. I keep talking about it, right? Down blocks, down blocks, down blocks. We're going to get the H back who wants to kick out, and he makes great contact. But this defender for Sun Valley does a nice job and forces the play to bounce. Unfortunately, it bounces to nobody. So there's the kick. Here comes the skip pull from the backside guard. The running back does a nice job here recognizing what's going on. So you can see the H-back with his kick block right there on 51 in white. He gets enough contact where the running back's allowed to and able to bounce this thing outside. He makes a nice cut and takes the ball deep into the red zone. Sets up their first score. Again, let's take a look again. I'll let it go full speed this time so you can get a look. So there's the schematics. Here's the exchange. There's the bounce by the running back. Split end's doing a nice job blocking downfield. And that sets up Great Valley's first score to take the lead. They were trailing 3-0. The second play we're going to take a look at here is a trap play, one back trap. And, as with trap plays, we're going to, again, I keep talking about this, but we're going to block back. We're going to try and get to the backer. We're going to try and get to the backer. We're going to try and get to the backer. And this down tackle is left unblocked for the trap block here. And then obviously the running back's going to insert this thing right down the throat and try and take it down the middle. So we're going to get a trap play from 29 yards out to set up their second score. And that's really well executed. Again, we'll take a look. The right guard's going to trap. A little bit of a telltale. He's waits back. You can see it. If you were on defense and well coached, you'd probably get a look at this. At any rate, they will let it run here. There's the trap. Running back does a nice job inserting in the A gap. And we get the ball again deep into the red zone. Sets up their second touchdown. Referee spots him short. The last play we'll look at here is an outside zone play. So unlike power where we had a puller and a kick block, and the trap play where we had a puller with a trap, now we're going to get a reach scheme. Really nobody with angles. We're looking to try and reach. Reach means outside, reach. Everybody's going to reach block. And the running back's going to take a wide path. Typically, he'll open cross and his aiming point's like the butt of the tight end. Quarterback will work to mesh and boot away. Outside zone, and the ball's going to hit up in here, and they do a really nice job with this play. So most of their plays are gap scheme plays. This is a reach scheme, outside zone. Some real good blocks downfield. The tight end here, it's number 6, number 8, I'm not quite sure. Walls the backer off. The backer starts to attack the play or safety. He walls him out. Running back cuts it back. And that's a good-looking football play. And you can see it's a touchdown for Great Valley. Gives them their 19th, and the extra point makes 20, their 20th point. And they even their record at 1-1, and they're off to see Owen J. Roberts this week in a traditional battle.
All right, thanks, Coach Milano and Coach Wolf. Those were really good breakdowns. I know it's not easy when you're doing 2 games of the week. Great Valley takes on Owen J. Roberts, and Boyertown is at Avon Grove. But let's get to the prediction segment. So last week, kind of really an interesting week. Pete, we had, 12 games, was it? 13 games, right? So Coach Milano still red hot. Scorched my hand there, right? So he's 20-3 on the year after only losing 1 game. So he went 12-1 last week. I actually woke up a little bit and got back into the fray and went 12-1 as well. So I'm 18-5. Pete, recovered well. Yeah, he had only lost 2 games, about 17-6. Coach Wolf is telling us slow and steady is going to win the race. So I know overall he's 14-9. And then Nate the Great came back to the pack. Nate, welcome from the shore of, where are you? Brighton Beach or Seaside Heights, right? All right. So Nate's 17-6. All right, let's get started. So first off, we have Methacton at Shanahan, Pottstown at Unionville, Phoenixville at Henderson, Upper Marion at Westchester East, and Norristown at Kennett. All 5 of us are going to take the Chester County schools there with Shanahan, Unionville, Henderson, Westchester East, and Kennett. So all those schools we believe will win, and that gets us to one of the games of the week. We have Boyertown at Avon Grove. You know what, Nate, since you are dressed up Corso-like, why don't we give you the first shot at it? Boyertown at Avon Grove, what do you think?
I think obviously we were all a little bit down on Avon Grove last week after that first week result.
Almost all of us.
Maybe not all of you, yes, but I mean we all wondered a little bit at least. And then obviously they come out and they just destroyed Penwood. So it gives me a little bit more confidence now that they can get things going. Obviously a long drive for Boyertown, so I'll use my theory on that one too, and I'll go with Avon Grove.
All right, like it. Coach Wolf.
Again, I thought Avon Grove bounced back really well last week. Really took it to Penwood. It wasn't even much of a game after halftime. Avon Grove really handled it. Boyertown's, going to be better than Penwood. Probably not as good as Warwick was in the first week. So it's going to be a big test for Avon Grove and Coach Coffey. Since they're home, I'm going to go with Avon Grove.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Avon Grove too. I just hope they don't rest on their laurels. The win against Penwood. Boyertown's better than Avon Grove's build a little momentum.
All right. From what I know about Boyertown, which I know their quarterback and tight end are supposed to be their best players offensively. Their tight end is totally their best player, period. Avon Grove is aware of this, so hopefully they will, do some things to be able to navigate that. Maybe if they're going to blitz to the strong side or slant towards the tight end side. So in saying that, it is Avon Grove. It is the game of the week. I plan on being at the game on the sidelines and in the locker room. So I'm going to take Avon Grove. Coach Milano, since he is currently running away with the score, we'll let him go last. You said that I needed to go last. All right, here we go. What do you got?
I'll go with Avon Grove for a chance to break them down this weekend. I think they're on the rise.
Okay. All right. We have Coatesville traveling to Lincoln, but it's not Lincoln, Philadelphia. It's Lincoln, New York. All right. So let's start with Coach Wolf.
Coatesville had a little scare last week. That's their team was obviously a lot better than that. But Coatesville came out on top. They found a way to win. And I think they keep the momentum going. I think we're playing really well. So I'm going to go with Coatesville on the road.
Yeah, and saying that, we really appreciated hearing from Matt Ortega Jr. in our spotlight segment. Gave us a great interview. I'm going to stick with Coatesville as well. I know I'm going to go against Nate's rule because I know Nate will be taking Lincoln since Coatesville's got such a far drive. And I do worry about that. It's going to be Coatesville's first time on the road. It's probably going to be, 2.5 hour drive, Nate?
Yeah, I would imagine.
So that does worry me a little bit, but in saying that, I think Pete's going to have a nice little tidbit for us. So I do feel comfortable taking the Ville.
Yeah, we've got Coatesville 90 points in the first 2 wins. Matt Ortega Jr. 465-yard passing touchdown. I don't think Lincoln has seen the type of skill people Coatesville plays.
So you're going to give them.
Lincoln gave up 48 points in their first game.
There you go. All right, Nate.
Yeah, I just think Coatesville's kind of finding different ways to win. Obviously, only 2 weeks, but the first week, really good defensive game. Controlled it on offense. Last week, back and forth, but they were able to win a shootout. I think that just gives me a little confidence, even though it is a really long drive. I'm sure they'll get there nice and early, get ready to rock, and I think they're going to be 3-0.
He went against his own theory. All right. Coach Milano.
I'm going to take the Red Raiders. I'm going to go with Coatesville. I know it's a long haul up to New York. My experience with Coatesville teams and competing against them for a long time, when they're on a roll, they're on a roll. And like Pete just said, I think they will.
Pains a little bit.
There's a little bit of that, not a lot.
We got Springford at D East. Thank goodness somebody's going to be playing at Cotmeyer again this weekend, right? So I don't know what Springford's been doing. I know they're not as good as they've been in past years. And D East, really played well. They got a shutout down at Northeast. I expect the Cougars to roll again. Nate?
Yeah, I don't think Matt Zollers is walking through that door anymore for Springford. So it's tough sledding, I think, for the Rams. Downingtown East seems like they got their groove back last week, and I think they're gonna win this one easily.
Coach Wolf, give us some locker room chatter here on the
They righted the ship a little bit, with the shutout at Northeast. And he'll talk a little bit more. That's not but they go for 4 weeks, and he's got it. Make my list, and I look for another big game. I just think
Yeah, I think Atlantic County's program trying to find their way. They've been outscored 67-10 in the first 2 games and have shown really no offense, under 200 yards of total offense starts. I think Atlantic County's doing pretty easy.
Coach?
I'm in pain again. I got to go with the Cougars. It's probably a merciful game. That's what I see. I don't see a game up to the contest.
Gotcha. All right, D West at Perk Valley. Then we'll start off with Coach Milano. I'm sure he's got some interesting stuff to give us.
And again, the Perk Valley West series has been a great one for about 8 or 10 years now. Perk Valley's always loved those. Always had tough kids. That's in the school too. Those kids are going to be physical and they're going to play. That's played well against them.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Coach Milano. I'm definitely taking the Whippets as well. Like you said, I mean, they played well. They just played a really, really, really good football team from D.C. Have been nationally ranked in the past, so no surprise there. They hung with them for a while, so it was good to see. I definitely think the Whippets get back on track and put it to Perk Valley. Maybe it takes them a little bit while to get going, but I think by the end, that's by at least 2 scores. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, being down there at Sally's last week, it's a really impressive effort by West. Obviously that team just had way bigger, way more size, way more speed overall. West hung with them for over a half. So kudos. No such thing as a moral victory, but I think they proved to a lot of people that they're going to be, one of the big dogs again. The biggest thing here is just not to let down. I'm sure they're bruised and battered, a little sore from last week, and obviously, hopefully they don't take Perk Valley too lightly because I think they still have a really good team. But I think West will be ready to rock, and they're gonna rebound and move to 2-1.
Yeah, I like West here also. Perk Valley, great program. Rob Heist, coach, always puts out a nice product. But, the way Cole Brecker's playing for Downingtown West, I see them scoring too many points for Perk Valley.
Coach Wolf.
Yeah, Coach Milano and I were talking right before the broadcast. Bricker's playing on a different level. I think him and Ortega Jr. have separated themselves as the best quarterbacks in the area. And I just think even though they got to travel up there and they got that big Viking in the end zone, I think Downingtown West is a little too much for them. So I'm going to go with West.
Putting down that Viking. All right. Del Barton at Malvern Prep. I am going to disagree with Coach Wolf. Well, not really disagree, but I'd like to add someone else. Jackson Melconian played really, really well against LaSalle. I think he'll also enter the fray as being one of the better quarterbacks in the area. They just, I don't even know what to say, right? Yeah, I mean, it's clear in the highlights portion of the show, I highlighted the so-called hole, and Malvern would have went for 2. But in saying that, this is predictions part. They might get off to a slow start, so I can see Del Barton maybe jumping ahead early. Maybe the game going a little bit like it did last year, but I think Malvern will rebound, and because they're at home, I'm going to take Nate's theory of the long ride. Del Barton's in North Jersey, so we're going to go with the Friars this weekend.
Yeah, I like Malvern. When you put 35 points up a team like LaSalle, you know you have some talent. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the area. Del Barton's a good school. I mean, Malvern had a 2-quarter rush back last 20-17, but I think Malvern wins it close.
Nate?
Yeah, I like Malvern. I like Malvern to bounce back. Like I said last week, looking forward to the offense this year. I had higher hopes with a lot of those guys returning, and obviously they looked all the part last week, scoring a lot of points against a really good LaSalle team. LaSalle might be the best team in the state. Malvern
I agree.
Right there with them, and I think Malvern rebounds and gets the win.
Coach?
I've seen Malvern twice. I saw him scrimmage St. John's College that the Whippets just played, and I saw a little bit of the game the other night. Obviously, very, very impressive. I'm ignorant to Del Barton. I don't know a whole lot, so I'm going to go with the local school here. I'm going to take Malvern.
Wow. I didn't expect that. Holy cow. Were you following my Twitter feeds and the videos I was sending?
No, I tried not to. I tried to stay away from that.
All right. Coach Wolf?
I think Malvern's very upset with the result. They played really well. I think Malvern at home, and I think Malvern beat pretty easy.
Gotcha. All right, next game, Pottsgrove and Oxford. Coach Wolf, why don't you start off with this to take this game in?
Pottsgrove traditionally has been a real, up there. It's a hard game to watch.
Coach Milano?
Hey, if Rick Bennypacker was still in Coatesville, it's been 2 of my favorite coaches of all time. Oxford's not coming down there, but I think I'm going to take Oxford.
Hey.
That's a tough one for me. I can't really figure Oxford out. First week I thought they'd beat Great Valley more than they did. Last week I picked them to lose. They win, both games by a field goal. Obviously, a really good way to start. But like Coach Wolf said, a little bit of a weird game last week. I think Pottsgrove just seems to be solid every year. I haven't seen them yet, but I think they had a pretty good result against, a relatively close game against L&J. I know it's a far drive, but I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one.
Not so fast, my friend. I do think your far drive thing plays in the portion. I also think that, like we said, Oxford was pretty banged up going into the game last week. Now they're home. Pottsgrove has to come to them. And I think looking for Oxford to bounce back. Coach Mean, I think he told me they had 5 turnovers. They got 2 touchdowns called back. Obviously a lot of penalties. He gave me the yardage, and I don't even want to admit to it. So, but I do think Oxford will clean that up this week, and they'll bounce back. Pete?
I like Pottsgrove in this situation. They only lost 14-7 to a pretty good pack team in Owen-J. Roberts. Too many mistakes from Oxford. I think eventually they'll clean them up, but Pottsgrove, traditional tough program. I like them on the road.
Gotcha. Now I'll introduce our second game of the week. This is the first time we're going to do 2 games of the week this year. And this is going to be, I think this is going to be a really good one. Owen-J. Roberts visits Great Valley. Coach Moana.
Again, Great Valley was one of my breakdown teams this week. I like what they're doing. Coach Phillips, first year back at Great Valley. They're playing solid defense. I know Sun Valley was not the ultimate challenge, but they did what they were supposed to do and put them away. And I look for Great Valley to move on and win again.
All right. I think Nate went into the ocean, so we'll wait for him to come out. He saw a wave he really wanted to take in. Pete?
I like Owen J. Roberts in this spot. They're one of the better teams in the pack. Although Gary Phillips seems to have fixed the Great Valley defense, they've only allowed 19 points in their 2 games after giving up an average of 30 points a game last year. Owen J. has allowed just 17 points in their 2 wins. I think Owen J. wins a close one.
Tom?
Again, talking before the show with Pete, Great Valley's got this number 21, the sophomore, Kosmalski.
Yeah.
And he's a dude. He got over 200 yards rushing, I think, and plays real hard-hitting free safety for him. It kind of reminds me of the Hatton kid from Rustin last year. And again, he's only a sophomore. That being said, Owen J's last few years been a playoff team. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I'm going to go Owen J.
I also am going to take Owen J. I think I honestly think they're going to – it wouldn't shock me if they made it to the championship of the pack, right? So there he is. All right.
I made it?
Yeah. How did that wave – did you take that wave in?
Yeah, I had to right away real quick.
His hat blew away. That's what happened.
So, no, I was just taking Owen J. Roberts. I feel like they could – I think Pope John Paul will win the division overall. But it wouldn't shock me if Owen J came in second, right, and played in that Pac-10 championship in Week 10. I know Perk Valley will be there as well. Those are the 3 teams I expect to be there. So in saying that, I think Owen J might be just a little bit too much this week for Great Valley. But I do agree with all the coaches. I think Great Valley has improved tremendously over last year, and this will be a good game. That's why we picked it as one of the games of the week. Nate?
Yeah, I think this Great Valley has a chance to kind of prove themselves here with this would be a nice win if they could get it. Sometimes you go against some of the packed schools, maybe you can be a little bit more physical than them. That'll be interesting to see how Great Valley matches up with them physically. But I think Owen J may be a couple steps ahead of them already, and I'm going to go with the Wildcats.
Okay. Coach Moana, do you want to give us a howl then? Because you're a lone wolf in that one. Are you a lone wolf
Hey,
kind of
Great
guy?
Valley's been in the pack, out of the pack, in the pack, out of the pack. They know the pack, and they've been playing this game for a long, long time. It's a rivalry game, I believe, and I just think Gary and the boys are going to get it done.
Okay. Sound reasoning, and I can't, the guys first place for a reason there. So let's go Patriots. All right. Final game, PJP at Rustin. This was a game of the year last year. It could have been a game of the year this year as well. We already covered Rustin week 0 and that Andy against Union. So PJP at Rustin. Nate, why don't we pick you so you can go back into the water?
Yeah, I gotta get down there. Just a quick tidbit, put Henderson on the, if everybody picks Henderson this week, and they've come a long way, obviously, from where they've been the last couple of years. First time ever in Westchester history that East, Rustin, and Henderson have ever been 2-0 at the same time. It's kind of a cool little fact to it, I guess. But I think Rustin, obviously, a good matchup against Coach John. I don't think Coach John has either team has last year. I'm going to go with Rustin to get it done.
All right, Nate takes Rustin. Pete, what do you got?
I like Rustin. I think they control the football, keep the PJP offense off the field. You got to go with Rustin at home, I think.
Okay. Coach Milano?
I said it the last 2 weeks until somebody shows me they can slow them down and get them off the field. Their defense always going to be rested. They're going to be physical, and I'm going to go with Rustin again.
Coach Wolf?
Rustin.
I hate to do it. I think I only did it one time last year. I might have picked T West over Rustin in what was our game of the week at the time. I just think there's something about, when you play a game like this, and and they lost 33 seniors last year. And PJP, they got some speed. They can get to the outside. It is at home. It pains me not to take Rustin, but there's something about PJP. I got a feeling I may be taking them the next 2 weeks in a row. So in saying that, that's our picks. That's the end of our prediction segment. Follow us. This show will come out again on Wednesday. And enjoy the games this week. We'll see you, everybody.